Good evening. They've put the tables up for the night, but you're welcome to join me if you don't mind the company. Not at all. Have a seat. Trouble sleeping? I get that. Couldn't sleep either. Figured I'd work my thoughts out on paper. Maybe then they'll leave me alone for the night. I'm Brielle, by the way. It's nice to meet you. Would you like some tea? It's no trouble, I have an extra cup. Here you are. You came in at supper, right? What brings you to the inn? Same. Been traveling here and there. I got here just ahead of the storm. Think I'll stick around for a bit, though. Well, I'd say it's because of the excellent accommodations, but that might be stretching things a bit. Well, you might not have noticed, but it's winter out there. I am not the rugged adventuring type. I prefer to be tucked up somewhere cozy rather than slogging through the mud and the snow. I made a deal with our proprietor. I provide entertainment, and they provide food and lodging. Consider me the bard in residence for the season. I tell stories, some that I've written, some that I've learned. I share the news, sing, play, a bit of magic. Honestly, I make a fair bit just delivering messages. What about you? What's next for you? Sounds like you have a fair bit on your mind. No wonder your thoughts kept you awake. I know you don't know me, but if it would help to share, you're welcome to. That's alright. It's understandable. I could maybe help in a different way. I could offer you a distraction from thoughts. Maybe a story? Help you settle down for the night? You aren't bothering me. It would help me too if I'm being honest. Never hurts to have a little practice before you sing for your supper. Alright. You make yourself comfortable while I pick something. Definitely not a time for the news. Not a comedy. Something with a bit of magic, I think. Or myth? Have you heard the tale of Alcyone and Ceyx? It's a love story of sorts, filled with tragedy and triumph. All right. You relax and listen. And if you should happen to close your eyes at some point, I won't be offended. In the long ago time, there lived a great king, Ceyx, son of the morning star, and his queen Alcyone, daughter of the keeper of the winds. They were endlessly devoted to one another and just rulers of their people. Their kingdom flourished under their rule, and they were admired by mortals and gods alike. All was not well, however. When is it ever? The king's brother had died in troubling circumstance, and he desired to seek the counsel of an oracle across the sea. When he told Alcyone of his plans, a strange fear sparked in her heart, and she begged him not to go. "My love, stay with me. Often have I read the names of the lost sailors on their empty tombs, often comforted their poor widows left behind. Even my father's winds cannot tame the waves, and I fear for you. Don't sail." But Ceyx would not be dissuaded. "I will be gone 2 months, no more, and then I will return to you, I swear." He probably should have listened to her. But then, if he had, we would have no story. So, the day came and the ship was launched, and Alcyone stood upon the shore waving to Ceyx on the deck, till she could no longer see his ship on the horizon. And still she lingered, willing her love to fly with him and protect him. At last, weary with watching, she retreated to the temple of Hera to pray for his return. What happens next? Do you know? A storm rises. Out in the heart of the ocean, miles from either shore, the black, frothing waves rolled under the belly of the ship, and torrents of rain poured from the heavens. Lightning flashed, and the ship blazed with fire, and the sailors all slipped down into the depths. One among them prayed to the waves to wash his body home, and the name of Alcyone was on his lips. On shore the days passed, fretful and slow, and the ship did not come. Again and again and again, Alcyone stood upon the shore, eyes on the distance between her love and she. Again and again and again, she retreated to the temple of Hera to weep for his return. At last, Hera could take no more of this grieving of mortals, and she sent a messenger to Sleep for help. Sleep stirred and bade his son Morpheus go to the mortal and tell her of her husband's passing. Morpheus slipped into Alcyone's dream and disguised himself as Ceyx, cold with death and dripping with seawater, that she might better understand. morbid. But the gods are not known for their subtlety. In her dream, Alcyon again walked along the shore, eyes on the horizon. She became aware of a figure coming toward her across the sand. He appeared to be a sailor, and she called to him. "Sir, by chance, have you seen my husband's ship while you were at sea? He should have returned by now." The figure raised a pale face to hers, eyes mournful and dark. "My love, do you not know me?" he rasped. Recognition shot through Alcyon, and she recoiled. "No. No. My love," Morpheus, as Ceyx said, "do not hope for my return any longer. I am dead, lost at sea." "You promised," Alcyon whispered. "You promised you would return to me." "I cannot," Morpheus, as Ceyx replied. "Then I will come to you." Alcyon's resolve tore her from her slumber, and she ran from the house, running down, down to the sea. The waves crashed higher than they had on previous days, casting upon the shore the wreckage of Ceyx's ship to prove her nightmare true. And there, rocking on the waves, was the body of her love himself. With a cry, Alcyon threw herself into the waves, determined to reach him at last. The gods looked upon this grief of such great love, and pity stirred in them. Reaching out, Zeus, king of the gods, brushed Alcyon's trembling soul. Alcyon's feet began to lift above the grasping waves. Her reaching arms became slender, feathered wings, and she rose from the water as a bird, immortal, beating her wings against the sky. She hovered over Ceyx's body and graced his cold cheeks with a kiss from her beak. No sooner had she done so than he too rose from the water as a bird, restored. They flew together into the sky, rejoicing in life. They lived together still, endlessly in love and devoted as always. And when Alcyon nests, she nests upon the shore, and the waves and winds grow still in courtesy until their young ones fly away. And now you have the tale. I hope it was a good distraction. Thank you for listening. Maybe now, with a story in your mind and something warm in your belly, you'll find it easier to sleep. I think it's time we both tried for some sleep tonight. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow? I hope you'll come find me again. I have more stories to share. And maybe someday you'll share some with me as well. Sweet dreams then. Good night.